Fabrizio Romano told us yesterday night that we are entering into the final decision time for Erik ten Hag on whether he's going to be the manager of Manchester United or not. After 1 week of really winning the FA Cup, remember yesterday it marked 1 week since we last lifted the FA Cup. Looks like the board is really into the final discussions, but we all know that a decision has been made, but they're just going to communicate it to the world, and I anticipate that Monday, it's going to be official. Monday or Tuesday, it's going to be official, and today we might hear rumors on what is going to be decided as the board of Manchester United. And as that decision is going to be made, Erik ten Hag has gone ahead and spoken about the youngsters, and then he has also spoken about the prices that certain players have gone ahead to obviously arrive at the club of Manchester United, and Rafael Varane is really in a jovial mode for seeing Real Madrid lift that trophy at Wembley. Welcome to this channel, and this is the United Matters channel, 2nd of June 2024. As a United fan, all I would love to see is the board of Manchester United getting done and dusted with this. You understand? They should get done and dusted with this, and then find themselves in a better position of obviously getting in players. Remember yesterday I brought you a story. We've just gone ahead to lose one of the targets, that is to sign a defender on a free. And you know what it means if at all you miss out a defender or a player on a free in this summer transfer window as Manchester United. You know how bad we are looking into that, Erik, and you have to obviously understand that things are not going to go any further than how I anticipate them to be, because we are losing out players on a free, something that I feel like it's really not logical for the club of Manchester United. So you call upon for 300 likes to be smacked on this video, and don't forget to subscribe, because we've already gone ahead to hit 17,300 subscribers, and let's go to 17,400 subscribers, and then we'll soon reach 18,000 subscribers in a nick of time. Now, Fabrizio Romano, as we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims Barakallahu Fikum this Sunday, let's see you guys flock churches. Fabrizio Romano yesterday said we are entering into the moment for the final decision for Erik ten Hag's future. Now, this is really taking long. It has gone ahead to lag on for a very long period of time possible. Remember, on Wednesday, Jacobs Ben came out and confirmed us that this week expect nothing, but next week a decision is going to be pronounced by the club of Manchester United. You understand? Then the other guy was Telegraph Dhaka, that is James Doka, who works as a United correspondent. Sorry about that. Who works as a United correspondent for the side of the Telegraph. He came out and told us that Manchester United is at a level of not communicating this week, but next week they are going to tell us the decision on whether Erik ten Hag stays or not. But I think we're a little bit late. And however much a decision is going to be coming through next week, we are going to be a little bit late. But don't rule out even that decision lagging on, I tell you, because these people look like they know what to do, but they don't know. Because how can you tell me that you come to the end of the season, you need to move on players, you need to sign players before they go to the Euros, and you need to start discussions on the plans with the manager, and then you obviously don't have a plan? The fact is, something really happened and shows the incompetency of INEOS towards the end of the season. As I was doing the video of Bruno Fernandes where he was like, I want to leave the club of Manchester United, Bruno is like, these people are not good decision makers. You told us that you're going to stick with Erik ten Hag, and now you are showing us that you aren't going to stick with him. And what is your plan for that? So Bruno Fernandes was like, this isn't the real deal, and that's why his agent, is it called Pino, went ahead to start talking to other representatives of other big clubs around Europe that have gone ahead to show interest in Bruno Fernandes for the previous times. So even at Erik ten Hag's level, he was like shocked that stories were outside there and they wanted to sack him. Yet Jobs were on the table. I tell you what, Bayern Munich were interested in interviewing Erik ten Hag, and Barcelona were interested in interviewing Erik ten Hag, and ten Hag said no for the respect of the club of Manchester United, and said no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because I know exactly that I still hold my job. I still have the grip of the job. But from nowhere, look at what they're really taking this guy into. And all I know, they haven't gone ahead to communicate to the media, but it looks like signs are showing that maybe Erik ten Hag is going to be kept. 90% chance I know he's going to be kept, and 10% is going to be sacked because of the scenarios that are really happening at Manchester United. If you add a lot to what has been said last week, Ten Hag coming out and really putting out a very big shift onto, putting out a very big interview yesterday, you understand. I'm going to really tell you what he's going to say about the players at Manchester United. And then when you look at a story coming in from Jacob's Ben, that Joan Cloud is really rooting for Erik ten Hag to stay, and Dave Bresfold is really playing devil's advocate. Another story came in through that two people of INEOS are really rooting for Erik ten Hag. And when you look at the positivity that is coming in through, when you look at the pressure of the fans, social media, and so on and so forth, looks like the alternative media is going to hit to overpower what we call the mainstream media, because mainstream media has been bitter, and all they had to do was to put out stories that Ten Hag should be sacked, Ten Hag should be leaving Manchester United. And guess what? Did it go their way? I tell you, not for a second. Not for a second did it go their way, and they found themselves in a situation of losing out the battle. So after losing out the battle, looks like INEOS has to dance to the tunes of the fans of Manchester United, and if at all they don't, we are gonna come here and really slate them. So we are anxiously waiting for their decision, and we all know that it is 90% Ten Hag staying and 10% you never know. They might obviously sack him, and that Zerbi resignation still baffles me and worries me, because we thought that maybe he was going to go to Napoli. He has not gone ahead to Napoli. Then we thought that he's going to maybe Juventus, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, and none of those teams have gone ahead to give him a job. And the only team left that hasn't gone ahead to get a manager is Manchester United. You understand? And remember, he really found himself terminating that contract with Brighton before the season ended, and that showed you that the team that was going to take him was not to pay 15 million euros. They're supposed to pay close to 10 million euros. That is like 8 million pounds. So that means for him to do that, there was something. There was a job he was expecting to get. All else, things were not moving in well at Brighton, and the club was not willing to get him the players that he wants. All else, he wants to free himself and see to it that after Pep Guardiola next season, because it said Pep Guardiola is not going to extend his contract at Man City, then he will go. But when you put all those three factors, the first factor that comes ahead of all those is Manchester United. Is it that Manchester United want to sign this guy, Zerbi? Is it? Because he really threw in the towel at the end of the season. But you ask yourself that if that was the case, Zerbi would have gone ahead to charge his players to obviously come out and see to it that obviously beat Man United at the INEOS Stadium. Though United beat them comfortably, but one would have gone ahead to say that his players would have gone to do better. You understand? Because if Zerbi beats Erik ten Hag, we get into the FA Cup game, everyone will be like, he deserves to be sacked. That is it. That's what everyone will be saying, that this guy deserves to be sacked because of what he has gone ahead to put out and portray as a manager, though he beats Man City. So, and if you had gone ahead to obviously lose out, right, would have gone ahead to really have the worst points collected in a season. Remember, the worst we ever collected is 58, and now Ten Hag got 60 points in our injured, most attacked season at the club of Manchester United. So guys, that's what Ten Hag, that's what Fabrizio had to say, and I went ahead to break it down like that. And now, no sooner had Fabrizio went ahead to say that it's a decision time, then these stories of Erik ten Hag leaked. he had to really release certain talk about the youngsters of Manchester United. He said with talents like Kobe Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, and also some like Amad Diallo, who has developed very strongly, the future looks bright. So the man is talking about the future of Manchester United amidst his decision on whether he's going to stay at Manchester United or not is looming. The man is thinking to start the club of Manchester United. You understand? So if the man is really talking that, it gives us loads of belief that he's really getting in feedback that he's the main man. You know, he's the main man. And I tell you what, all those players he has gonna hit to hint on are really extra talented, and when we keep Erik ten Hag, those 4 players are gonna enjoy themselves, plus the likes of Will Kambwala. They are gonna enjoy themselves to the fullest, because I know that us playing the UEFA Europa League, you know that the manager will have time to rest players, and I know Ahmad will get ample playing time, Kambwala will get ample playing time. For Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund, they've already gone ahead, obviously knock and really take a seat in the first team of Manchester United. But Kambwala and Amad Diallo, and through exhibiting that playing time at or in the UEFA Europa League, he'll find himself into the starting positions of the Premier League. And I know that if Erik ten Hag comes in through, it's going to be hard for the side of Anthony to really get ahead of Amad Diallo, because he has looked very ugly. And I don't think that Anthony is going to surprise me by putting in unthought of performances. I was on certain platform, one was like, Anthony was bought for £86 million. You know, that is really affecting his form. I asked him, Rasmus Højlund is 20 years of age. He played his first season in Serie A. He was at what's the name of the team that he came in through? You know, when he got out of Copenhagen, he was sold, I think, to Australia, and then he crossed to Italy. He hadn't even played in the Champions League. He hadn't lifted any trophy in his career. He comes in throughout Manchester United, and he scores 10 Premier League goals. You understand? That is Rasmus Højlund for you. And I think he has one in the Carabao Cup. And he has, I think he scored close to 17 goals this season. You know, that is Rasmus Højlund. And Anthony, who is a player that is playing for the Brazilian national team, right? Ajax, twice in the Champions League, couldn't obviously live up to the expectations. So that is really naive. You know, Declan Rice was bought for that amount of money, but why isn't he really not flopping? And for Anthony, he got a better reception. When he came in throughout Manchester United, he went ahead to obviously score immediately against Arsenal, you know. Then he scored against Man City, he scored against Everton. That is, in the first 3 games, he got that big push. After getting that big push, you all know how things really happen when you really get that big push. That means you've gone ahead to start it on a high. Rasmus Højlund, he took close to 1,000 minutes to score his first goal for Manchester United in the Premier League. Though in the Champions League, he opened up with a goal against Bayern Munich in our opening game. So those are really excuses being given by weekend people in there. So I think these youngsters are really going to enjoy themselves, and Amad Diallo will obviously take the lead into that position. Now, Erik ten Hag has come out and spoken about the prices that Manchester United has going to hit to use to buy players highly. And most recently, it's Anthony who is really the case, and he's the player that he wanted to sign from Ajax. He said, the prices paid for players are indeed very high, but I'm not responsible for that. The club did all the negotiations, including with very good potential players who didn't come in the end. So Erik ten Hag is obviously taking off his course and taking it back to the Glazers, because I told you that it's the Glazers that do these businesses. The manager just has to obviously point on a player, and for the manager, he just wants the player, and it's up to the board to say that player is expensive or not. You know, That's what they do. Then Adidas said, it's all a bit of nuanced or nuanced than the picture that is being painted that the purchase policy is disastrous. It's all negative, but despite all the problems, the foundation of the club has grown stronger. And he added, that's not all be visible to the outside world, but everyone internally will make that analysis. You understand? So now, when we talked about the incompetence of the Glazers, you people thought that we are lying, but the manager is just trying to beat about the bush, but he's really telling you the truth, that the problem are the managers. He's confirming to you that the problem are the managers of Manchester United. And you know what it is at the club of Manchester United. It's all about the Glazers going in for players late. If we went in for Anthony in this particular case, because the player that came in through and his price has always gone ahead to be questioned at Manchester United has always been Anthony. If you went in for Anthony in July, 50 million quid would have been the amount of money Man United would have gone ahead to really pay. You get? But because we delayed towards the end of the summer transfer window, we got in Anthony at 80 million pounds, 86. And that made us miss out on a player called Cody Gakpo. If you had gotten in this guy early, would have gone ahead to pay 50 million pounds, 36 million pounds, Cody Gakpo would have been a player of Manchester United. You understand? So, I find it very naive for people to come out and really blame the manager because he's not responsible for negotiations, for the salary, for the salary and for the transfer fee. And when he saw to it that they are really doing it wrongly, what he did was like, for players in the academy, I should tell you how Ajax does it. And that's how they went ahead to do it onto Kobe Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho. They give them what you call performance-based contracts. And that's what they do. They give him performance-based contracts as a side of Manchester United. And I think those are contracts you should obviously give these players, that if you score 20 goals this season, you are going to get this amount of money, you know, and you are going to get the next year of yours at Manchester United will see you earn huge amounts of money. You understand? So we wait and see how that pans out, but it's always nice to see to it that a lot goes that way. And I think Erik Ten Hag has gone ahead, obviously, exonerate himself, and we now know the people to blame. It's always the Glazers. Though at the end of that conversation, has gone ahead, obviously, try to really give them a shield, but he had already gone ahead to expose them. But that's not news to us because we've always gone ahead to obviously put these Glazers onto the hot seat. Lastly, it is Madrid making it 15 titles in the Champions League. Yesterday beating Borussia Dortmund by 2-0. Marcel Sabitzer and Jadon Sancho, commiserations, former players at Man United. And Rafael Varane was there and he said, Hala Madrid again and again. The 15th is already here. And remember, for Varane, I think he has like 4 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. And he went ahead, obviously, watch that game of football with his son as you see him there for you. So, remember, he has just gone ahead, obviously, he has just gone ahead to lift a trophy at Wembley last Saturday. And a week later, he's supporting his former team that he played for in the Spanish La Liga, that is Real Madrid. And they're here to obviously lift the trophy. And it is really very, very good because he lifted that of Manchester United as a bid farewell to the fans of Manchester United, that is Rafael Varane. And he came in here to see to it that he put in a very big shift for the side of Real Madrid. He was there to support them and he watched that game very well. And that is Rafael Varane for you with his son donned into that Real Madrid jersey, and we don't know where he's going to be playing next, but wish him the best of luck. Thank you guys for watching in through. And once a Red Devil, always a Red Devil. And once a Galactico, always a Galactico. So he had to obviously show them support. So, your thoughts onto Ten Hag final decision. Looming, you know, anytime from now, it's really going to be put out. What do you make about it? What do you make about Ten Hag talking about the youngsters and the transfers? Does it confirm to us that they've gone ahead to obviously give him green light, obviously continue as the manager of Manchester United? And Rafael Varane doing the needful to obviously give Madrid the support they want, and he was also reciprocated back the energy put in through to support them. They never disappointed, though Dortmund had a better side, but Madrid scored the goals. And what wins the goals? It's always what wins the game. It's always the goals. As Sir Alex Ferguson said, goals win matches, clean sheets win trophies. We out.